Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. This is video 5, so part 5 of the Make a Journal with Me. I wanted to film a little bit more of my process as I go to, just try to figure out, where I want things, going through all the different options of, what works, what doesn't work. So here I'm trying to figure out what I want to put on the back side of this little flip here, like a little half page. So I'm checking some other, all kinds of different little things. And I'm thinking I might put this button card here. And this is a printable from Sam Pool. And it's really super cute. And there's like, I think 3 different sizes of these button cards. But it's a little bit too small. So now I've changed my mind and I've decided that maybe this wallpaper will look better. So I'm aging it. I like it all kind of imperfect. And now I'm layering some old music um, paper on the back side of it, just to give it a little bit more interest. And what I'll end up eventually doing here is I'll be making it into a pocket. But as I'm doing this, I don't know. I'm just kind of going with it and just seeing what works. And here I'm using a little bit of an eraser. I got a little bit wild with the distressing. So sometimes you can kind of use like an eraser to kind of like, get rid of some of it, and then I can kind of redo it a little bit. But sometimes when I hit it on the ink pad, I don't know, I get a little bit extra or more ink than what I really wanted. But I fixed it. It's fine. So I'm sticking that down, and then I'm going to need to trim it, so I'm just measuring that. And so I leave just a teensy bit around the whole pocket because I just like that added texture that it gives and interest. So I'm just going to do a nice little stitch around it, and then I'll end up gluing it. Since I've already stitched in the last video, I had stitched those 2 little tucks with the map and the floral image. I'm not going to sew again over it. And glue will hold it into place just fine. So there I am with the beacons glue again. And I really like how that turned out. The screen's a little bit bright, but it looks really, really nice. Taking a look at that paper, I'm trying to determine if I needed to reinforce it, and I've just, decided just to pass by it for now, and I'll think about that. So I continue to check, I check all the papers. I like to see how they look in there, if they're starting to kind of stick out the edge or anything like that. That's basically what I'm checking there. And then I'm flipping through the pages. And I use the seam ripper there to kind of like fix the, where the stitching was, to kind of push the holes back down. And I'm trying to decide if I want a piece of fabric here. And it might be kind of hard to tell because it seems like when I use like light and white, colored things, the screen just really goes white. I need to figure that out. I don't I don't know. I messed with it and messed with it, and it's so white. So hopefully in the next video I can try to get that fixed. So I just keep trying some different things, but I don't nothing really, this I like this the best, but I still want to sit on it. I want to wait and think about it as I do the rest. So I'll move on after I try a couple more. So see, now you can see it's really good. It's amazing what that sun does. So I go ahead and decide to stitch this. I had put that side pocket on last time. And so now I've decided to go ahead and stitch because I may put ruffles on the other side. So I'm only going to just stitch the sides. I'm not going to stitch all the way down yet. Just in case I decide to put like some sort of ruffle or fabric or something like that there. And a lot of times I'll go over with the distress ink to just kind of like darken the thread sometimes so they don't stick out as much. And it just makes it really blend really nicely with, the paper. Unless it's white. If it's white paper or cream colored paper, you wouldn't need to do that. But because it's yellow, it's very obvious. So I like to just darken it a little bit. So now here I am, I'm thinking about, what to put on the edge here. So I'm kind of looking at the lace and it looks okay, but I don't really like the edge of it. So it's all right, but it's not really catching my attention. So I'm thinking what to do there. You can see like when I tap my fingers, and I'm going through some things, and so I've got this really cool idea. I like to put the unexpected sometimes, in journals. It just makes them interesting. So I'm checking all my buttons just to see if I could make one work if it's not too thick. That's basically what I'm looking for. I really loved that blue button, but it's pretty thick, and I don't want to create a lot of, bulky items in the journal. So I settle on this button, and I just make sure that that's the one I want, but that is the one I'll go with. I was checking the thickness there. So now I'll use like embroidery floss after I've, gotten it all ready. I'll use embroidery floss to hold it in place. But I'll cut around this and I'll really distress it. This image, again, is from Sam Poole, and it's very, very aged already. It had like all kinds of like creases in it, and I just kind of wanted to mimic that. I mean, obviously, this is really large, but I really wanted to mimic where all those were. So I did a lot of folding on it and inking, and really just distressing it as much as possible. I really wanted it to look old and to really kind of like stand out. And I crumpled it a little bit. And I'm just making sure that I really like it in that pocket and that I'm done doing all that. So now I'm looking at all the different flosses. And I end up going with this like metallic. It's not really gold and it's not really silver. It's like something in between, I would say. And I think I've got about like 3 strands. And all I do is I poke a couple holes so I can see where I've gone. And then all I do is I just tie it in a knot, and I'll put a little bit of the glitter glue there to make sure that those strands stay in place. And then I'll let that dry a bit before I actually cut the strands off because I'll tighten them probably a couple more times. So now I'm going to go and glue it inside this pocket. And I already have the other side down. That's something I did off camera, the other pocket. And I just really love the way that this turns out. I just think it's so cute. And now I'm thinking about what should I do to the front? Should I put anything there or not? So I really like this image that it's one of Heather's Ruby and Pearls wallpaper digitals, and I'm really liking the image. And it goes a particular way, but it's so like it's such a big bouquet that it doesn't seem to like really matter. And I really like it, like in the position that it's in. But I don't know if I want that like straight edge, across the top of it. So I'm contemplating here. So ultimately, I decide I really like it like that. And I work on distressing, and I'm off camera a little bit, but you've seen me do it, with the scissors before and distressing all the edges. So my remedy for getting rid of the straight edge along the top then was to back it with a little bit more of that, piano roll paper. So I'm just kind of like tearing this haphazardly just to, get it to how I like it. And then I'll ink it. And I'll glue it to the paper first and, trim off the excess. And then I'll put it onto the pocket. I've really tried adjusting the camera multiple times here, as you can see. So hopefully that wasn't too annoying. So I just really love the way that that looks. And then I do trim a little bit of the excess because it was really long, but look how cute that looks. I just love that, it just looks like some kind of like the end of an old wallpaper roll. And I don't know what's happened, but this whole entire journal has just become like this floral explosion. But I don't know. It's the way it took me, and I really, really like it. So here I'm distressing more of the edges, making it look like it's, not something I just recently put down, but that, it's been around for a while. I like that look of things. And if I leave a corner like up, like kind of how I showed it down there at the bottom, I ink that other backside too, so that when it kind of curls up and stuff, it's not like just this stark white, because it wouldn't be on an old piece of wallpaper. It would be dark. So I kind of like put everything together again. I love double checking everything and making sure it looks good. So yeah, I think that turned out really super cute. I'm deciding if I need a little more glue there. And I think I'm nearing the end of this video. So there'll be another video though, because I still have quite a bit to do. I think I'm deciding if I want to like really do anything else. Oh yeah, I do. I sew a little bit on the ends of this pocket here, just a little bit, because I think I decided I'll leave the other side as is, or if I do anything on that side, it won't hinder this. Yeah, so there we go. So I'll see you guys in the next video.